Position you currently were at right guard. Now I guess you switched to left.
Right.
How big a deal is that for you?
It's not too big of a transition. You know, here at Ohio State, they try to make us learn all positions, so we're more versatile, so our value goes up. So when they said I had to go in at left guard, probably the first day of spring, I was like, okay, let's go. So I'm still learning along the way, trying to like knock the rust off a little bit, but it's a fun experience so far, and I love being with my guys.
How much have you played left guard as opposed to anywhere else?
Well, in high school, I was always left, and so when I came here, that's when I switched to right. So going back to left was a kind of like muscle memory again. So I'm just trying to learn everything I can, absorb everything I can from Coach Fry and all the guys who've done it before. You know, Luke, Paris, DeJuan, and Matt. You know, they've gone through it. They went through a whole season, so they're trying to give me advice about what to prepare for, what to look at.
Yeah. Coach Fry switching. I mean, Paris is going to be next to you. He was on the right side last year, and now you're on the lead. What kind of chemistry do you think you guys have?
I think I have great chemistry. You know, Paris is my guy. You know, we're always trying to get extra work in to work on the little things. So if anything arises in practice or in any situation, we're there for it.
Was it difficult to have one offensive line coach first year and now have two in 2 years? Like, is that a little difficult for you guys, or how is that transition working for you?
It's not too difficult. You know, I loved Coach Doug, our previous line coach, but now we have Coach Fry, and so he said that he's not trying to scrap everything we're doing. He respects everything that we've had so far, so we're just trying to build off what we have to make us the best players we can be.
How different do you feel now compared to like last year when you weren't here in the spring? You jumped in, five-star guy or expectations, but you haven't been here. And how different do you feel now?
Right. This is my first spring, so trying to go through it with everybody and trying to take it all in. You know, obviously the expectations are there, but you come to Ohio State, there's always expectations. So I don't really let that bother me too much.
What are some of the biggest lessons you took from last year, you know, as a freshman, and how are you kind of leaning on those maybe going into your second year now?
My lessons last year was taking I wouldn't say watching, but taking examples from the older guys. You know, Thayer, Mumford, Nick Petit. I was always talking with them about what I could do better, what I could improve on, and they helped my game evolve a lot.
Are there specific things that you're, you know, tapping into that from those guys that you learned?
There are a lot of things, more of hands, feet, striking points, stuff like that I learned from Thayer, and Nick helped me like watch film in the proper way. Because coming in, like I didn't know how to watch film like a college athlete, so he taught me how to do that so I can read everything.
Yeah, give us a hint. What do you mean? What do you see now you didn't see when you're watching video?
Well, when I watch film, he's like you gotta watch more than just yourself. You gotta watch the guy opposite of you, the opposite lineman. You gotta watch the defensive lineman. So it's just not being so centered on what you're doing. You gotta watch the bigger picture.
Yeah, look how pretty that guy is. In other words, you watch everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, is there such a thing as a natural guard? You know what I mean? I mean, there's such thing as a natural tackle, a natural guard, a guy suited to play that position.
Well,
in your opinion,
I don't really think there's a natural anything. You know, you can play it or you can't, I would say. And we have
well,
guys.
It's kind of the same thing, though. Go ahead, dog.
Yeah, it's like we have guys who can play every position. You know, we had like Paris playing guard last year, and he was phenomenal at it. Now he's playing tackle, and he's just as good at it. Yeah. So I just got to fill the expectations as a Ohio State offensive lineman and keep it going.
Donovan, what's your wingspan? I know that's a weird transition, but
I want to say 6'11". Yeah, 6'11", 7 foot. I'm pretty sure it's around there.
To the point of playing every position, if they needed you to play left tackle in an emergency situation, do you think you could do it?
Well, I'm not going to say no. You know, I'm not going to say like, no, I can't do it. But if they need me to play tackle, I'll pop out to tackle. But I'm playing whatever Coach Fry or Coach A tells me to play.
Does that length, that basically 7 foot wingspan, maybe make up for the fact that they're not necessarily the 6'6", 6'7", thing that we usually see at tackle?
I mean, it's all technique. It's all technical with Coach Fry, and so if you have the technique for it, he thinks you can play it. You're gonna play it.
What do you bring?
I feel like I'm ready. You know, I'm learning every day. Coach Fry calls it repeat offenders. So if you make the same mistake every day, then you're a repeat offender. So I try not to be a repeat offender when it comes to my mistakes. And so just getting better every day, 1% better every day is what my goal is at right now.
What do you bring to the guard spot, though, do you think, that maybe sets you apart a little bit, or where you really can sink your teeth into it?
Well, at the guard position, I feel like I work best because it's the guy's right in front of me. Basically, I don't gotta go get him.
Yeah.
So if the guy's right in front of me, I can put my hands up, I can start driving my feet, and then that can help create drive and push for our O-line. So anything to help the team, I'm ready to do it.
Across the line from you, who has just jumped out at you? We're hearing Tyleek's having a pretty good spring. Michael Hall. I mean, who's jumping out at you?
Tyleek's my roommate, so I hear everything that happens in practice from him. But you know, Tyleek's the whole D-line, I would say, is a great people to go against. You know, iron sharpens iron, and the D-line is a perfect example of that. You know, I can jump from Tyleek to Teron to Jaden to Jerron, and I get the same intensity from everybody. So it's not a single guy that stands out to me. It's like everybody's working just as hard, in my opinion.
Donovan, to have two tackles playing guard, two natural tackles, I guess, playing guard last year, and you trying to learn guard at college level for the first time, is there something that you can take away from like their versatility that shows you like what you need to do to get to that level last year?
Yeah, I'll say they were really good at moving in space, and so I felt like that was something I had to work on a little bit coming in. And so they taught me, like I was saying, like aiming points and tracks you got to take to get to the second level.
Do you know how many plays you were in on last year as that 6 offensive linemen? It wasn't very many, but like there was a few. Like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, how valuable was that for you? Was there a lot of value to it of having game experience, or do you just kind of look at that as they were almost like one-off plays in this offense last year? Like, how valuable was that experience for you, just to be in for a few plays here and there?
That was very valuable. I would say, like, mentally and physically. You know, mentally being in a stadium that holds more than just Texas Stadium, but physically, you know, going against guys who are not the people you go against every day, and seeing the defense as you read it, as you do on film. So those reps I took in game, I took to heart, and I took the experience and tried to grow from it.
Were you guys lobbying for that 6-man offensive line more last year? Were you guys asking for it more?
I mean, that's up to Coach Wilson. You know, I talked to him a little bit, but he was like, we'll get you in, we get you in.
Do you like the number 41? That's what you were, right?
I got 41. I remember my dad bought 2 jerseys, bought 74 and 41. So, yeah, I said, I'm not trying to wear 41 again, I'm trying to stick to 74.
You good that's retired for you now?
I don't, if they tell me to put it on, I'll put it on, but hopefully it stays in the closet.
Describe to me your mentality when you're just lined up against somebody. You know what I mean? What's your feeling like when you're like that's about to happen?
When it's about to happen, I feel like I go into some type of zone almost. I feel like the team's relying on me. The O-line's relying on me to get a push. Trey's relying on me to make a lane. So I feel like I have to put it on my back, and it's my responsibility as an offensive lineman to get that person out of there. So it's the strain of it is what I really appreciate. And so getting them out is what I really love.
Is it like I don't want to block the guy, or I want to just crush him and crush his spirit?
No, I want to. No, don't get me wrong. I want to crush him. I want to run through him. I want to go to him and get to the second guy past him.
Right.
But having that responsibility is what I really love.
What's your first impressions, I guess, through 7 practices, 8 practices now of the way Coach Fry teaches? It seems like, you know, I've heard from a lot of people, it's like, you know, putting things into buckets, trying to make everything really simple, then to build up to the bigger picture. What are you getting from him right now that you kind of jumps out at you?
From Coach Coach Fry, he tries to build from the foundation up. So he's like, we're gonna work on the simple things and build from there. So obviously it's springtime, it's not fall camp yet, so it's like it's room for improvement. So if it's feet we're gonna work on feet, and we're gonna work on hands, and then once we got that, we're gonna start working them together. And so getting it step by step and then putting it together. And so we can see it in the individual drills, and then we go into team period. It's almost you can see the transition from it.
Did you have like a goal weight that you wanted to get to, or are you right where you need to be right now? Like, what's your goal playing weight for September 3rd?
I ended last year at around 300, and coming into this offseason, Coach Mick, the strength staff, said I had to be heavier. So my goal weight is at 315. I was like, nothing really happened. I feel like I would watch myself on film, and I realized I had to do better. So that's where I came in and asked other guys of what I could do to get better. And so off-field stuff like getting to bed, getting proper sleep, recovery, and then watching proper film is what led to me trying to get better.
You probably come pretty easily. You're a talented guy. You know, in high school you could probably physically dominate people, right? So you get here and you have athletes that are similar to you. Is it like, oh, okay, it's not the way it was?
Yeah, you know, Coach Mick always says that talent can only take you so far, and the rest is effort and fight. You know, I tried to reinforce the fight this off season, and so with the help of the strength staff and guys around me, I feel like I'm getting to the place where I want to be.
Donovan, I think a lot of people have viewed you as a guard here at Ohio State. Can you see yourself as a future tackle here at Ohio State?
I mean, if you tell me to bump out the tackle, I'll go to tackle. But for now, I'm going to stay at guard.
Do you think guard is your best position?
I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know how to answer that one.
Let me ask you about Enoch. You know, he father last year. It was a tough year for him. He's come back this year pretty strong. What are your impressions of him?
Enoch is one of those guys when I first came in that he was one of the first people that greeted me with a smile. So I love Enoch as a brother and as a friend. You know, when all that stuff happened to him, I was always there for him. You know, I couldn't experience what he was going through. I was always there for him. So having him still with us and like still learning from him today is a great experience for me.
He said he kind of had to learn to lean on his teammates because he wanted to kind of take it on himself before. Do you sense that? Do you sense like, okay, he's kind of a different guy in that sense?
I wouldn't say too much. You know, you can only do so much as someone from the outside looking in. So I just tried to be there for him and be a good friend and a good brother as well as I could.
Donovan, when I asked Kevin Wilson about you a couple of weeks ago, I think it took him 8 or 9 words before he said the name Trent Williams when he was kind of talking about your athleticism. Not to put undue expectations on you because he's a freak, but how do you feel like your athleticism helps you with the guard position?
I think it helps me a lot. You know, in high school, obviously I was a tackle, so having the type of feet it takes to move in space, and obviously Trent Williams is a pretty big individual, but just learning every day, trying to get to that level is what I'm at right now.
When you were recruited, did they mention tackle at all as a possibility?
They mentioned me being an offensive lineman, so they said that just be prepared to move where we need you to be. I was like, all right. That's why I just went with it.
It seemed like you had the skills that you could play at all 5 positions if they needed to.
Right. Okay.
What's your long-term goal? Obviously, reaching the NFL is the pinnacle. So I'm going to see yourself as a goal to tackle the what's been your vision of where you're going to be playing in the pros?
Well, I see myself playing in the pros as an offensive lineman. You know, the same rules apply. You know, if an NFL team says we need you to play this way, I'm gonna play it. If it's someone to play punter, I'm gonna kick the ball. So wherever they need me to play, I'm gonna play it.
Is there a major difference between right guard and left guard?
Philosophy-wise, no. It's just knowing the angle of departure of where you're going to the down lineman and the next alignment is a little bit different.
What part of your game do you take the most pride in?
I take pride in my strength. You know, I feel like I'm one of the stronger guys on the team, so I feel like getting them off the ball is what I have to do as someone who's strong.
You came in with 2 other offensive linemen, Zen Mahalski, Ben Chrisman. Just what have you seen from those guys in their development?
Oh, they developed a lot since last year. You know, Ben and Zen, they're both my roommates too. But seeing, like, we always talk around the table, talking about what we learned, talking about what we could do better. And so having those talks and seeing we're actually doing it on the field is just a great thing to see.
You mentioned your strength. How many bench presses can you do the reps?
Oh, the last test we did, I did 28.
That's pretty good.
You said Zen, Ben, and Talik are your roommates?
Yeah.
That's a lot of big people in one minute.
Yeah, man. It's not a lot of places to move around there.
Full fridge?
It's a full fridge, 24/7. Yeah.
How did y'all get stuck with the defensive lineman though?
I don't know. I just walked in one day. I was like, "You're not an offensive lineman," but Tyleek's my brother. I love him, so I'm glad he's here.
As the new starter, a lot of eyes going to be on you. How ready are you for that? Do you anticipate or eagerly anticipate that people are like that? Check out the new one.
Well, I feel like there's a sense of anticipation. I was saying, like, obviously being the new guy on the line, there's a lot to hold up with the guys who have left and the guys who moved on from here. So I'm just trying to take off from where they left is what I'm trying to do.
Is always your goal to not be noticed? You know?
I mean, offensive line are only noticed when it's not working, so.
You've probably already been asked this, but just getting on the field as a true freshman last year as much as you did, how much did that help you going into this year, Donovan?
Those reps are very important to me. Being able to be in the environment of a college stadium and being able to go against guys who are not the people you practice against was a viable experience for me that I really appreciated from the coaching staff.
Back to your strength for a second. The idea that you take a lot of pride in that. You got to the end of the season last year. Were you where you wanted to be by the end of the year after going through a full season?
No, I feel like I'm never really satisfied of where I'm at. I feel like there's always something I can improve on. And that was really evident, you know, Coach Micklin's strength staff pointed out my weaknesses to me, so I tried to strengthen them over the offseason. to showcase it on the field.
Donovan, what have you learned from Matt Jones?
Matt, well, Matt is, we call him pillar strength. You know, he's that type of guy that once he gets his hands on you, it's over. So I always try to like look at his sets. I try to always look at his hand placements, because what Matt does is like almost all the time is right. So I try to see what he does, because obviously he's been through it at a guard position. And I always ask for advice when it comes to either pulling or anything like that from Matt. And he's a great person to get information from.
Do you feel like, I mean, because he said versatility has always been something that he kind of prides himself on, whether it's both guard positions or backup centers. I mean, how valuable is that to a line or even to a team that kind of, you know, the culture is, you know, put me anywhere, I just want to help, you know? Like, I mean, do you sense that from him? Do you sense that from the line as a whole?
Right, you know, I think everyone on the line knows that we could change positions at any point, and we should be able to run the ball or throw the ball at the same efficiency as we were in our original positions. So with Matt saying that he's versatile, I completely agree with that, because he is. And so having that mentality in the offensive line room, I think, is what sets us apart from other places, because we trust each other to know that we trust each other to know each other's jobs at all times.
Is that something that you strive for?
Yeah, you know, I always try to know what it's always easier to know what Paris is doing or DeJuan is doing, because it makes your job easier.
You were like the sixth man last year. They would bring you in sometimes like, you know, extra tackle, extra tight end, however you want to describe it. This year, with you being a starter, who maybe could fill that role of being that guy that can come in and be an extra tackle if they needed to?
Well, there are plenty of guys who could fill that role, either if it's here or incoming guys, but that's up to the Coach Wilson and the offensive staff. Well, I'm excited to see who's going to put on the tight end number this year.
What is that?
41.
Yeah, 41.
Last question right here.
What is Tyleek like as a roommate?
He's a great roommate, I would say. He's always a fun guy to be around. After you take after a long day at class, or like you have a test that you didn't think went that well, he's always there to cheer you up. So having Tyleek there is always a great thing for me. Mm-hmm.
Y'all ever have any side wagers going into a practice? I mean, y'all talk about things like that?
There's a lot of smack talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smack talk. He's on the field, that carries on to the locker room, then we go into the car, then we go to the room. It keeps going. Then we wake up in the morning, it's still going.
Is he a classic kind of defensive tackle that you know, is very confident about himself? How would you describe that?
I would say Tyleek's very confident about himself, to the point where it annoys me, but having Tyleek around just makes you better. You know, iron sharpens iron, and being around that guy all the time, it just makes me better.
Who had a better day today?
Between us two, I'll leave that up to the film. You know, I can say what I think, but I'll leave that to the film. We got to break down after this.
Now, I asked you earlier, you know, where do you feel most natural, or more natural earlier? Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, with your speed and stuff, do you really like the idea that as a guard, maybe you're going to get out and run a lot? I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, what do you think you bring to that equation?
You know, I like operating in space. You know, hitting someone that's not a defensive lineman is always an offensive lineman's dream. So if you pull out in space, you see like a corner or a linebacker pulling across, you're like, hey, now this is a hit I want to take. So having those plays are opportunities you got to take advantage of, because once they do happen, you got to get after it.